Minor league baseball players have taken the first step toward unionization. And I think if you asked the average sports fan, maybe even the average baseball fan, they wouldn't have even known that minor league baseball were not part of the Players Association that the guys in the show are. Joining me now from Locked On MLB Prospects, Lindsay Crosby. And Lindsay, why is this an important thing for the minor leaguers?
So think about the last 2 years, and a lot of the conversation around minor league baseball has been the substandard wages. Most guys in the minor leagues make $500 or $600 or $700 a week. We've had conversation about the housing situation. You see 4 or 5 guys to the same bedroom sleeping on air mattresses or in cars. We've had conversation about guys not getting paid in the offseason, or minor league contraction, where they went down to 120 teams and just eliminated minor league baseball in 30 or 40 cities across the country. Forming a union and being able to collectively bargain gets around all of those issues and allows minor league baseball players to advocate for themselves, for each other, and ultimately to get paid a living wage to play baseball.
What is the path to some sort of connectivity between the Major League Baseball Players Association and the minor league players? Because the major league players have had a lot of similar gripes, not about travel necessarily, but about service time and a lot of the things that are directly related to guys spending time in the minors, getting called up or not getting called up specifically for contractual reasons. So how can they find synergy there, if at all?
So what works well is the way that this is being set up is the Major League Baseball Players Association would represent both the major league players and the minor league players, but their contracts would be bargained separately. And so when you're bargaining from the same unit, you're able to, in essence, share notes and form a strategy. So for instance, if major league players are negotiating a reduction in the amount of service time required to get a season, the minor league players can then negotiate some sort of incentive for teams to call their players up early. The idea is by being able to coordinate everything, you can better have a cohesive strategy and you can work around whatever loophole management's trying to do to deny this thing to the players.
Why has it taken so long to get here?
I think a few reasons. The first one is obviously Major League Baseball has this antitrust exemption. They've had it for over 100 years, and there's never really been a lot of momentum to fix it. But in the last few years, especially fueled by the 2020 contraction of the minor leaguers, you've seen Congress get involved. You've seen letters, you've seen threats of hearings, and you've seen the Supreme Court actually address the existence of the antitrust exemption and say that they don't think it should exist. And so all of the movement that you've seen positively for the players, whether it's salaries, whether it's living conditions, all of that came because Major League Baseball was trying to preemptively get out in front of the public groundswell of support for minor leaguers and against the major league organization and management. And I think the lockout kind of exacerbated a lot of this. It let Major League Baseball see that, no, the average fan is more aware of these poor conditions and they're not going to be as accepting of us continuing to do this, and we're going to have to fix it. And ultimately, they haven't done enough. And so I think that's why the union has found an opportunity to step in and fix it.
So where does it go from here? What's the next piece of this?
Okay, so authorization cards are what went out Sunday night. And what that is the players are signing saying, yes, I want the Major League Baseball Players Association to represent me. Now, legally, if you get 30% of those cards returned, the Players Association can ask for a union election to be held. But I was talking to some people today and found out that the plan is actually Major League Baseball expects to get around 75% of those returned with a yes. And so on Labor Day is the discussion. They're going to publicly announce we have received an overwhelming majority of the cards returned in favor of a union for minor leaguers. And we are voluntarily asking minor league baseball to recognize us as a union and begin collective bargaining. So there is not a union yet, but Major League Baseball Players Association is very confident that they're going to get the response they're looking for, and they plan to publicly pressure MLB to make it happen.
Stay up to date on the prospects of tomorrow's Major League Baseball by subscribing to Locked On Sports Today and the Locked On Major League Baseball Prospects podcast on the Odyssey app, YouTube, or wherever you get podcasts.